Hey friends, how you doing? This is Ernie, the trader of futures, and it is post-market time. Haven't really decided exactly when I'd like to do this, but I think probably the best time to do it is at 4:15. Now, why do I say 4:15 instead of 4 o'clock? And the reason for that is that it isn't until 4:15 that really the actual trading in things like futures start to subside. Now, most futures markets actually close at 5 o'clock on Friday, and they don't reopen until 6 o'clock on Sunday. However, the ES, which is the E-mini S&P futures contract, by all accounts and measures, stops trading at 4:15. Then they have an extended period where they basically do no trading until 4:30, and then from 4:30 to 5. But not much happens at 4:30 to 5 ever, at least in the ES. Now it's an anomaly, and this is something that's a little bit different from one contract to another. They all basically have their own schedules and margins and all this other stuff. But other than that, just understanding that, I guess can be an advantage because, so for instance, if you knew that 4 o'clock to 4:15, there's still a lot of trading going on, you may also recognize that there's a great deal of trying to make up for what happened, during the day, during this time. And that period, that very small window, can be quite volatile. So anyways, now I'm getting off the topic. The whole point of this is that maybe I'll do these See, what I'm doing is I'm trying to come up with a new format for these live shows. I plan on doing 2 a day. I'm going to do one in the morning after we release the equities trades from the artificial intelligence and the embodiment. And those typically come out around 10 o'clock or so. And so as soon as those are released, I will come on and we'll talk about the market and what we should expect. And then how we might play those equity trades. And then, what is happening in the market. We'll take a look at things like the geopolitical and geoeconomic situation, such as economic reports and how they may impact anything that we happen to be trading. I think that'll be very useful. We'll also, take a further in-depth look at trading strategy and as a trader, as a person who's like in the business of trading, and hey, don't mistake me. This is a business, no matter how you look at it. It's not a hobby. If it's a hobby, hobbies you don't make money at. Hobbies cost money. And why would you want to do trading that costs you money? Trading is for making money. All right. So it's not a hobby. We've established that. I will be talking about how you can turn this into a real business or a alternative income, another stream of income. That's the important part. Then at the end of the day, after we've gone through all this stuff, we'll do a market wrap up. I was going to say market racket. That was like almost a Freudian slip. That was what was in my mind. Maybe you didn't hear that, but yeah. We'll do a market wrap-up, and we'll talk about what happened during the day and what we can expect for the next day. Why I took some of the trades that I did based on the AI setups. And so, for instance, today we had 4 equities trades, 1 ETF and 3 other non-ETFs, so just regular stocks. And let's take a look at those and see what we have here. I'm going to share this with you, so hold on. What I'm going to show you is the email that goes out to all subscribers. You should also be aware, very aware, that for the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm going to be providing these alerts at no cost, completely free. Now, you won't be getting the emails for free. What I'll be doing is I'll announce them in the Discord group and then I'll be talking about them in the on YouTube. So don't think you're going to find them in YouTube in time. The best time to find them is to be in the Discord group. And if you want to join the Discord, it's down below in the description. So join the Discord group. That's where we'll be doing a lot of this talk. We'll be talking about the trades. I will post these trades there. And so today there were 4 trades. There was an ETF and then 3 equities. There was the VXX, or the ETF that follows the VIX, the volatility index. XOM, that's ExxonMobil, big oil company. That was a sell. So was the VXX. Bank of America, BAC. The reason why it was in red was because I sent out the first notice and there was a misspelling. I misspelled it BAX. That's because the X is next to the C. At some point, once we really get this whole service running, we'll have someone to help out with all the post-production stuff and catching these things. And so, you know, it's a new business. We're growing. And then, of course, the fourth one was Goog, which was also a buy. Now what we'll do is we'll take a look at what actually happened today. And I'm going to bring you over to Thinkorswim. So give me a second here. Thinkorswim, or as my friend Greg likes to say, flounder or drown. Actually, does he say flounder? Well, I think it says flounder and drown, he says. All right. It's coming up. All right. Flounder and Drown, or Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade. This is where I like to set up and do all my analysis, particularly with stocks and options. Because with options, Thinkorswim by far has the best analytical tools out there for the retail trader. That is just a fact. All right. What shall we do here? Just so you know, I don't keep any money in this account, strictly for analytical stuff. So if somebody compromises my account, I don't care. I would care. I would have to get another account and be a pain in the ass. Anyhow, in the upper left-hand corner is VXX. In the upper middle is XOM, or ExxonMobil. Oh, way over to the right is Bank of America. Lower left is Goog. And what are we missing here? We're missing... Oh, that was it. The rest don't matter. I have the Forex position, the USD Japanese yen pair, and then over to the right, these are other trades that we had from yesterday. And over to the right is the euro. But one thing that we can see very clearly are these lines, the yellow line and the purple line. The yellow line is my entry and the purple is the target that was given to us by the setup, by the embodiment, our AI friend. We haven't decided whether or not our embodiment has a gender. So if anybody wants to suggest a gender role for the embodiment, please let us know. So anyways, I put in the entry and the target as according to the setups that were given to us. And we can see that the VIX came within pennies of hitting it. And so did XOM, within pennies. And of course, Bank of America also within pennies. Unfortunately, we missed this one, or I missed it. And that may have not been just close enough, and it happened so quickly. But the others, the last one here, Goog, wasn't even close. And because this happened so quickly on Bank of America, it wasn't really close. It never really triggered. However, these others came within pennies, and I did take those trades, but I didn't take them with stock. I took them with options. And I took them with options because options are really the natural way to take these things. I did either weekly or monthly, going out at least 15 to 25 days expiration. And the reason for that is that all of our trades have a 4-day life to them. If they do not complete or their mission in 4 days, we get rid of them. So I want an options contract that it has an expiration that's far enough out that will easily encompass that and won't be impacted too heavily by any kind of theta drain or loss in premium due to the expiration coming near. Now, for a lot of people, what I'm saying is complete gobbledygook, and that's okay. We'll be talking about options in great detail: theta, delta, gamma, vega, puts, calls, different strategies, spread or verticals. We'll be talking about all of that stuff. We'll be talking about, where's your max risk, all of that. And what is the most appropriate strategy, option strategy, whether it's a spread or a strangle or a straddle or an iron condor or a butterfly. We'll talk about that and why. You'll also see that within each one of the upper left-hand corners of these, we have a little tag, either red or blue, and that's showing something called implied volatility rank. Really important, and this is what is going to determine how much extrinsic value, how much volatility there is. That will point to whether or not an option is expensive or cheap, and we'll make decisions based on that as well. So there's a lot going on here with these equity trades. For one, we can define our risk even in very, very small accounts and make it such that we don't have to be afraid that our account is going to go to zero if a trade goes against us. We can define it right down to maybe $50 or $60, or if it's more appropriate to do it to $200 or $1,000. It will be up to you. And that's the really cool part about doing options and equities. All right, so that's going to be something that's going to be part of the service and also courses that we'll offer within the service. So the service itself is there feeding us high probability trades and high probability outcomes based on artificial intelligence, and literally hundreds, and when you start looking at the permutations and the combinations, literally millions of strategies that it goes back 20 years and analyzes and can churn out and then give us answers to potential trades within minutes. It's really an amazing thing. Really amazing. So I took 2 trades today. I did a put on the VIX, VXX, and a put on XOM when they reached within a few pennies of that target. I felt that was good enough. I entered with just a couple of contracts. I felt that if it went against me and went higher, I could add more contracts to that and reduce my cost basis. And that's, again, one of the powers of using options. I knew exactly what my defined risk was. And so somebody asked me, hey, Ernie, are you afraid of maybe the VIX or the market just dumping over the weekend and the VIX spiking? I said, no, because I'm using options. I have defined risk. There is, even if the VIX goes to 100, I will be safe, right? Sure, the option will be worthless, but all I'll be out is $1.44 per share or $144 for that contract. That's acceptable. And then if it does go up there, I'll add some puts up there. So really, everything is under control using options. Options really allow you to model your idea using time, bearish and bullishness, and volatility. I call that the 3Ds of options. And then I have ways that we can determine what is the optimal strategy to put to work given those three factors and your ideas of, or your, modeling your idea of where you think this thing is going to go. And then using the, well, that's if you use the embodiment, it'll tell you where it thinks it's going to go, and then just play that. That'll work out really well. So if you like this idea, of having this sort of post show, one of the things I'm not doing right now, which I would normally do in a post show, is perhaps bring up information on what's going on. So for instance, we'll take a look at Forex Factory. And why am I looking at Forex Factory? Because Forex Factory, for one, it shows the currencies and economic reports that happen across the globe that may affect, in either a geoeconomic or a political way, Forex trades that we might have on, but they will also affect stocks and equity positions, and also the futures. So Forex Factory is like one of my go-to places to see what's happening that day. And so we can take a look there. Let's take a look at Forex Factory. So I'll make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. With Forex Factory, you can see today, Friday, October 19th, these are all the different reports that are coming out, and by which country, or which, I guess, Forex is associated with which country. But we can see Japan, Europe, Great Britain, and CAD is Canada. So Canada had a bunch of reports. And then the color of the folder depicts the potential impact on that market, all right, or that currency. So yellow being the least impact, orange being middle, and red being potentially a great impact. And if we go a little further down, you can see that in the US we had two events. We had existing home sales, which is listed as a lower impact. And over here we see the forecast and then the actual result. And you can see that U.S. home sales was under the projected actual consensus of $5.29 million new home sales. Or actually not new home, existing homes. These aren't new homes, these are existing. So it's a little lower than what was projected. All right, and so that has a negative impact on, a potentially negative impact on the economy, but its impact should be relatively minor compared, because we have a yellow tag here, not a red tag. Now, there was also FOMC member Bostic speaks, and that has a medium tag, and so, you can watch that stuff. You can get on CNBC and see what they think, although don't take that to the bank. You could go to C-SPAN and perhaps actually see him speak for yourself. Just monitor that. Sometimes when a Fed governor says something, it has a lot of impact on the market. But I don't think that had much to do with today. Today was more like a continuation of yesterday. We're trying to find a bottom. Let's go back to me. It's back to me. Back to me. Yeah. Today, I believe that the market's trying to find a bottom. That's what's happening. So let's look at some of the comments here. GameCuber, hello again, sir. Really enjoyed the last show. It wasn't boring. Yeah, because there was some guy that came in and said, "Oh, this is boring. Start talking about really cool shit, beat up people." And he didn't find it boring. The best part was the use of the words troll and fucktard. Yes, that's all part of my lexicon. Troll and fucktard. And none. Too smaller, I like it. Crypto Shill, did you option trade the equity call? Yes, I did 2 trades, both puts on VXX and XOM. On the VIX, basically that's a bearish call on the VIX because it jumped up today, and so according to the embodiment. It showed us where that target was, and it came within just a couple of pennies, and so I put on a put there. And then its target is significantly lower. And so hopefully on Monday, that'll all work out. If it doesn't, it's defined risk and no big deal. Crypto Shill found the tab for Iron Condor, but got stuck with what the next move I was about to make. Yeah, I showed an Iron Condor trade in the Discord, but only just to show you what are some of the other possibilities. And the Iron Condor trade I showed was pretty cool, because if the VIX stayed within that range, it was a valid trade. Now, I don't know if it would have been appropriate for this call. I think it would have been. But I was just trying to show some diversity in the different types of strategies that you could put on. I showed just a regular put, and then a much more complex trade like the Iron Condor. And it was an extra wide strike on the Iron Condor, so it encapsulated a very wide range of possibility. And perhaps maybe I can even show you what that looked like. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Why not? Because we're going to be talking about options an awful lot. And we may even be talking about options for futures. These are options for equities. So what we're looking at here, let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. Oh, it didn't get bigger. Oh, let's see. I have to hit this button. There we go. There we go. All right, so this is an Iron Condor. And an Iron Condor is a put spread and a call spread. And they're set apart so that you create this kind of, now the blue line is the risk line, or the theoretical profit at expiration for these contracts. And you can see if you look very closely, there's a zero. That's anything above that is profitable, anything below that is not profitable. The purple line is the actual value of this strategy right now. Now, as time goes on, according to expiration and decay of premium, and as we get closer to that expiration time, that purple line is going to start moving up and assuming the shape of the theoretical profit at expiration. And then along the x-axis down below is the current price. Now this is XOM, by the way. So you can see where the current price is, and if I had put on a trade like this, obviously I'm looking for the current price to start moving down and into this profitable area. But you can see that price can move up, down, or stay the same, and in all those cases, I would be making money. Now, if it moves outside of that, then I could potentially lose money. But the risk is very well defined. You can see the amount of risk that I'm taking is just a fraction of the total profit that I can be making, as long as it stays between 79.75 and 82.30. That's a fairly wide range for a relatively stable stock. So that's how I put up this strategy. Now, I didn't play this particular one, but I was showing this as a as a potential. This is what I might do if I were choosing another strategy rather than just a simple put. So hopefully that was educational. Allie, I think women's more successful at doing repetitive things. They think faster, but man is also way more successful at creative thinking. AI should be a girl. At first, I was wondering, where is he going with? And then I remembered, oh, yeah, I asked for the gender of the AI. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, the embodiment should be a girl. Gabriel Garza, I bought call options. On what? Really? Why? That's going against the, I don't know what you bought call options on, but if you're talking about this, I don't get that at all. GameCuber, very nice to see him happy, learning a lot. I actually found Ernie through Crypto World News. Well, thank you. On Facebook, you took advice from somebody on Facebook. Okay, whatever. All right. Well, let's take a look at what the market did today. And maybe we can look at that as through TradingView. Oh, by the way, if you recall, one of the things that I had been talking about on the cannabis market was, and I've been saying this for the past, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, that I expected the cannabis market to be a buy the rumor, sell the news. That today, or I'm sorry, the other day, the 17th, was the day that Canada made recreational weed, pot, marijuana legal. And I said that's going to, there's a lot of hubbubaloo in the industry. People are very excited about this, but I said that it's not going to mean a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I said what you can expect is all these cannabis stocks start rising into that event. And then when that event happens, regardless of how great people think it is, it's going to drop, right? That's what I said. Been saying it all along. It's basically a buy the rumor, sell the news. So let's take a look at actually what happened. Now, what we're going to look at is the MJ, which is the Alternative Harvest ETF, and MJ, I guess, is a stands for Mary Jane or marijuana. And what do you know? Let's take a closer look here. Got this big Bollinger Band on here. Might want to take that off. Let's take the Bollinger Band off. We don't really need the Bollinger Band. All right, look what happened. It rode up right into that date, and then on October 18th, bammo. And I expect it to continue to come down, and that's going to open up all kinds of opportunities, in my view, with either the MJ, the marijuana ETF, or any of the individual assets. And a lot of these you can trade on the NASDAQ over the counter, even though they're Canadian companies. So they're offered to U.S. markets. So and they're fairly liquid too. So this is a great way to play the up and coming marijuana industry, with Canada being the proxy to the rest of the world. And at some point, it's going to be completely legalized here. I'm sure of that. All right, we'll get out of that. As Dirt Asdi says, Bitcoin to the moon soon. You say that every time you come on. Yes, because you lost all money and you are angry. Fix it. Huh? What the hell are you talking about? Short the corn, aka BTC. Well, my other prediction is for BTC, and I've been saying this for quite some time, that I believe there's going to be one more pump, just one more pump, and it's not going to be a significant pump. The shorts in the industry are very high, and they're leading to kind of a no-brainer pump. The problem is that there's very little liquidity. There are very few people out there with short positions, even though the ratio is high. So I expect that there will be one more pump to try to squeeze what few shorts there are out there. And then after that, the market is going to go down. Bitcoin's going to go down. The whole market's going to go down. Now, not all in one fell swoop, but close. Adam, I made money on shorting BTC. Well, if you've been following my channel and on the Discord, it would have been very difficult not to make money over the past 6-7 months on BTC. We have a standing short order, and that is to short every friggin' rally. Every rally, short it. Every rally, short it. And short it until it hurts. GameCuber. We will all be better off when legalization happens in the U.S. More resources for the police to go after actual violent crimes. I agree. More safety for the people. Dom Oxenford, Bitcoin to 3,800. I think it's going to go much lower, actually. I think it's not unlikely to see it go below 1,000. Yeah, GameCube says maybe even lower. Mr. Trad, you're a new guy. You get more viewers talking Bitcoin. Give the people what they want. No, we're going to do everything here. Because Bitcoin, it's going to, and the whole crypto market is going to go into a severe lull as people get more and more frustrated, and as the overall interest in Bitcoin continues to wane. And you can see this very easily by going and doing a Google trend and for Bitcoin, and you'll see that it is continuing every day, going down lower, 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 and lower. No one likes Bitcoin except for the diehards. Allie, maybe this time they will liquidate Tone Vase. Permabulls and hodlers are going to get wrecked. Yeah. They just put way too much faith in it and too much of their money into it. They're over leveraged. And yes, they will get wrecked. Tone Vase is a slime bucket. I don't have an opinion on that. When I talked with him, he was a nice guy. A little full of himself, but a nice guy. I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he does. And I certainly don't agree with him publicizing his one call and dragging a lot of people down with him. But has he risen to the level of slime bucket yet? Not yet. Close. Where do you get the idea that it can hit 1,000? Interested to hear your theory. Sorry if you already covered this. I haven't been here long. Well, I don't see anything holding it up above that. In order for it to hold above that, there would be the need for some significant ecosystem and interest, new people coming in for it to hold above. The only thing that's really keeping it afloat right now isn't the current retailers. It is strictly the whales. 3% of all the wealth is being held by, or I'm sorry, 96% of all the wealth is being held by 3% of the whales. The cost of mining has bullshit to do with the cost of the coin, and nobody can show a correlation between the two. And there's no rule that says it can't go down lower. Sorry, but I mean that is a logical fallacy. Has not been proved. Tone Vase 1, Ernie 0. That was an easy debate for Tone. That's not true. Actually, I won that debate handily. Totally smoked Tone on that debate. Yeah, it's the great, exactly, Adam, the greater fools theory. We're running out of fools, which is hard to believe. Bitcoin's bottom is 3K. If it goes to 1K or lower, something catastrophic will have to happen. That's exactly my point. It has to happen. The whales recognize that institutional buyers, in which they need desperately in order for this market to take off, will not come in unless it gets down to that level. They're just not going to. Have you ever discussed how Wall Street's Rehypothecation could ruin Bitcoin by making it a fractional reserve and negating its finite supply premise. Wall Street ain't doing bullshit with that. Sorry, ain't Wall Street doing that. I've read about that, but that, again, another bullshit story, just to keep people engaged, I guess. All right. That's enough about Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the market and what happened today. Let's look at a daily view of the market. Let me just bring up that daily view. All right, there's the daily view. That's the Lightning Network, the Lightning Network. Yeah, the Lightning Network is bullshit. It's a scam. It is 100% a scam. A lot of people don't follow that logic, but it is. It is 100% a scam that is inviting banks into Bitcoin, essentially turning it into exactly the opposite of what the idea, the vision of Bitcoin is. Most people don't get that, or they refuse to believe it. All right, so we're going to take a look at what's happening with the market. So we could see that since the beginning of the year, or actually since the beginning of last year, we have been on a tear. Had a big pullback at the beginning of the year, and then back right at it, and then another pullback, and I expect a little bit of consolidation there, and then moving right back in, just another pullback. All right? No stopping it. No friggin' way. There we are. All right, so this will conclude. Let's see if there are any more comments first. Thoughts about XRP. Everyone is always asking me about XRP every day. They keep on claiming that, oh, well, Swift will buy XRP and then they will take it to the moon. Bullshit. XRP keeps on trying to morph into something else every time it fails. First, they had the idea of being this international payment medium and with their network. That failed. Then they tried to do a deal with Wells Fargo as sort of, let all the ne'er-do-wells cash their check with XRP. That failed. Now, a lot of people are talking about them ponying up with Swift, which is a bunch of bullshit. Swift doesn't need XRP. XRP is nothing but filled with hope. You like it or a hater? Neither. I don't hate anything. I'm just telling you the facts. XRP isn't going anywhere. It is being elevated strictly by the retailers and some whales that are trying to get as much mileage out of it as possible, to extract as much of your blood as possible. Mr. Trad, when will gold break out? Or are we looking at a 20-year bear market like from 1980 to 2000? No. I think that gold will start, not necessarily break out, but it will start rising with the market commensurately. Adam says, I don't like the Lightning Network. It is a communist dream. I think Bitcoin in of itself, the whole idea behind centralized governance, it's not decentralized governance. Centralized governance, centralized mining and miners and whales, centralized ownership is pretty much the, it is a communist dream. Bitcoin is a communist dream. It is the opposite of what all the anarchists and libertarians believe it is. Wasn't Ripple created to be a centralized coin? No, it was created to be that's what people turned it into or thought it would be. It was created to be a token to be used on the Ripple network to work as a medium inside of the interbank transfers and take over SWIFT. And I soundly debunked this a long time ago. It was and I'm not going to go into it anymore. It's not worth my time. But let's just suffice it to say that I have intimate knowledge of this business, and I'm telling you, Ripple ain't going anywhere. Crypto, have a great weekend yourself. Take care. Thanks for taking the time to explain your answers. Appreciated. You're welcome. Fuzzy Bid, hi. How you doing? All right. So we're getting near to the end here. Again, although I can't agree with you on it going lower than 3.8K, well, that's fine. I don't care. If it doesn't go below 3.8K, there is no hope for it. None. No hope. And that's the way it is. No hope. Sorry. So anyways, if you're interested in the embodiment, our new girl, the AI, the artificial intelligence system that we're offering, I'm in the process of like a soft launch. We put out futures calls, Forex calls, and equity calls. $99 a month. You can purchase it with Bitcoin or your credit card. It's a subscription service. You can also purchase a quarter or a full year at a time. You get a little bit of a break. And it's something that I've been showing for a long time. Has fantastic. When I say for a long time, I've had it on Discord and on here on YouTube, showing the daily calls and proving without a shadow of doubt that it has about an 85% win rate. Actually, what I've showed. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to have going into the future, but that's what we expect with a huge return on capital. Jay Constant, XRP ain't going anywhere. What does that mean? That it stays around 50 cents? No, it's going to die eventually. It is just going to die. Fuzzy Bid, last attempts to pump up the volume in exchanges, but they're failing. Yeah. And Dom Oxford, oh, Ernie, did you get that hedge fund set up? Yes, I did. And, well, the fund isn't set up, just the precursor to it. It's probably going to take about 6 months to a year to build up a track record. Mr. Trad, is Bitcoin a store of wealth, digital gold, or a payment system, or both? Neither. It is neither. How's that? Which would propel it to 100K? No, it is neither a store of gold or a store of, digital gold or a store of wealth or a payment system. It is neither. Nano Virtual, I really want BTC to go under 1K so I can finally afford to buy at least 10 of them. And I'm sure that's what a lot of institutional players are thinking as well, that they would be willing to dip their toe into it if it went down there. Raziel, the new Blockstream liquid product already is an XRP killer. Liquid Bitcoin. Yep. It'll never cease to amaze me. All the crap and euphemisms that they will attach to Bitcoin. Ali says, I think they will pump at weekends when liquidity low and dump then when liquidity high. Well, that has been their modus operandi, Ali, and so you're very astute at pointing that out. Bitcoin is a chain of digital signatures. It is designed to be an electronic ledger. Blah, 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 GameCuber. I am intimately knowledgeable or extremely knowledgeable of the inner workings of Bitcoin, and I really don't give a shit that it is a chain of digital signatures. It's bullshit. I've been using chains of digital signatures for 30 fucking years. So don't tell me that Bitcoin somehow is something so different. It's the application of blockchain as a cryptocurrency that has some uniqueness, although now it can no longer be considered unique because there's a million cryptocurrencies of every strata. Fuzzy Bit, Ernie, do you think blockchain will go away totally, or one or a couple of successful projects will survive? The former. I'm sorry, the latter is what will happen. There'll be one or a few projects that will survive, create public blockchains, lots of private chains, and permission chains. And will the new Apple or Google or whatever you think biggest Ponzi ever? No. First of all, I don't think any of these will overtake Apple. They'll be relegated to a niche market. It is neither. Then it will go to zero. Is that your prediction? No, it'll find its way in use and for some people. Like I said, a niche market. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be cryptocurrency sometime in the future. I'm saying that the current implementation, the current ecosystem, the current involvement, and where we're going is unsustainable, and all the fraud that is wrapped around it is unsustainable. And I'm saying that all of that has to get cleaned out. And so I don't see that happening for at least 2 years, maybe a year and a half tops. And then after that, then we'll take another look at it and then see what evolves from that. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, it's worthless. Mr. Trad, this is what I just fucking said. Check back in 2 years. My God. You will be sorry? Why will I be sorry? I won't be sorry. And then you say, thanks for the clarification. But there's no reason to be sorry. If it's bullish, I will be bullish. If it's bearish, I'm bearish. If it's nothing, then I'm nothing. Felix Mack, sovereign countries will look to create their own coin. Maybe. Sooner or later, everyone's going to go to some sort of electronic currency, and whether or not it follows the paradigm, excuse me, whether it follows the paradigm of Bitcoin, that remains to be seen. There's still a lot of development to be done, a lot of things to learn and recognize. One of the things that most of these cryptocurrencies are missing that is sorely lacking is a comprehensive governance system. And Bitcoin has no comprehensive governance. Thank you. And until that happens, none of these coins, you look at Hedera Hashgraph, they're one of the first that has come up with a comprehensive governance system. And I think that that's one of the reasons why they will make inroads, at least on private ledgers, and possibly with their own stable coin, which is going to be called Carbon. So that, I think they are going in the right direction. They have some real vision and foresight because they're comprised of people who have actual experience in this industry. Most people that are coming up in the crypto industry have no real experience other than what they've learned in crypto, and that's it. And they may be smart, but they don't have the cojones or the credentials, the cred. EOS. EOS is the biggest fucking scam ever. Ever! With that, central banks can't create their own version of Tether. Mining is not better than central bank. I don't know. Whatever. I have nothing more to say. That is it. That is it for today. We are going. I hope you all have a great weekend. I may be back on Sunday evening. There will be calls coming out Sunday evening with the AI setups. And they will be all futures or Forex related. And then on Monday morning, we're going to start anew with a new market open show. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. And then I'll have a market close show. I can't believe someone said that this guy was boring. This is the most fun I've had in all week. Well, thank you very much, GameCuber. Utility tokens have no value, only speculative value. I can see no other. All right, go on. Talk amongst yourselves. You're talking right now to the hand. Gotta go do some important stuff like walk the dogs. Gotta go walk the dogs. Do you have any statistics on the success rate of your algo? We will be putting that together, but let me just say, I know that you're new to this, that I have been posting trades from the AI for the past 9 months. If you go to the Discord, and the invite is down below in the description, ask anybody there. Ask anybody there. They all know what's been going on. And most of those people are becoming our clients in our soft launch. But what we have shown and what we target is approximately an 80% win rate with about a 100 to 200% return on capital, depending on what your margin requirements and so forth. So really spectacular. You're welcome. We'll see you all next time. I hope you all have a great weekend, and thank you very much for showing up. Please click that like button below. Share this video. For God's sake, share the video. I will be doing a real heavy-duty hard launch into the future, into the fall. If that's the case, why aren't you laying on the beach somewhere? I don't mean to sound like a dick, but serious question. Well, that's because I just started putting the service out there. We've been trading it, sure. All right. When you have limited capital, you trade it only so much. Eventually, I hope it to be. Actually, let me put it this way. So you don't know much about me. If you've been following me for a while, you know that one thing you may have known or seen. You were wondering, man, does this guy ever go to work? Does he work? Does he have a real job? Yet I live in this beautiful place, one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Massachusetts, on a very large plot of 5 acres on a beautiful wooded lot, and I come and go as I please. So I basically do what I want. Vacation every year on Martha's Vineyard. So yes, no, I am not sitting on a beach all the time. I do what I like to do. I enjoy doing this. All right. So you're not sounding like a dick, but I understand your question. You may also notice that I'm probably a little bit older than most of you guys. So I've been kind of like in this semi-retired state for probably about 20 years. Take off. Take care. See y'all. This is it. Take care. Have a good one. We'll see you Sunday or Monday morning.